All right, welcome. So my name is Azroy. I head up the support team, and this is a sales demo for the QuickSchools Student Information System. So the best way to experience QuickSchools is through a free trial. So let's start with signing up with one today. So there's no obligation when you sign up for a free trial. If you decide that this trial is not good for you, if it doesn't fit, you can just let the account expire. Let's put in some details. Azroy at QuickSchools.com. 877, let's just say 555 224. All right, create a new school. So we are a cloud-based system, accessed from the internet. So all you need is a modern browser, including, and it works on mobile devices as well. So if you want to access it from your iPhone, iPad, or Android device, it works just fine. And if you do access it from a smartphone, it does look and behave just like an app, even though it's just on your browser. So every school will get their own little URL. So in this case, it's mynewschool.quickschools.com. You log in using the email address that you put in and the password that you set up. Log in. So the first thing you'll notice about QuickSchools is that we try to keep things simple and easy to use. So you'll notice from this interface, we keep it clean, very few menus across the top, and as you use more and more of the software, you can turn on additional modules and enable them for specific users. So let's start with the test drive. And what the test drive does is it creates some test students and test subjects for you so that we can go right into using the software for the demo. And later on, when you want to put in your own students, there's a simple button you can press that removes all the test data for you. So as far as gradebooks go, it's pretty standard. You put in your marks, it shows you your letter grade. You can set categories for each of these columns. You can set up your own categories. And for the final grade, you can actually weight the different categories as you see fit. So for example, I can set assignments as 60%. Maybe quizzes can be 30%. And tests can be 10%. And this final grade is calculated in real time. So you'll notice that as I type in my marks, it updates the final grade. Our gradebook also supports comments. So as you move your mouse over these cells, you'll see this little pink bubble that pops up. And if you click on it, you can add public comments that can be shared with your parents. So for example, I could post here, Alvin needs to work on his long division. And for private comments, this is just something you want to take note of to yourself moving forward. So maybe something like, Alvin was very tired in class today. And now there's this blue bubble. If you move your mouse over it, you can see those comments. And if you click on it, you can make changes to those comments if you need to. All right. So adoption is really important to us. We really want to make sure all users are able to use our software well. So in addition to the clean interface, we do have built-in video tutorials, so teachers can spend a few minutes learning about how the software is used. And for those that prefer written instructions, if you go to docs.quickschools.com, we have our online manuals, so you can always print out instructions with screenshots. But by far, the best support tool available to all our users is the live chat support. So anytime you, your parents, your teachers, or even your students, if they have a question about the software, just click on the Got a Question widget on the lower right corner, type in your question. How do I change my grading scale? Our live chat agents are available 24 hours a day on weekdays and after 8 a.m. Eastern on weekends. So really, anytime your teachers have a question about anything, whether they're working late through the night or over the weekend, we're there to help you guys out. Just doing a demo. Thanks, Anna. So these are real people, not robots. As some people always ask. Because they're real people, we can personalize for those that need detailed steps. We can provide that, and for those who are a little more savvy, we can provide quick hits. So definitely use this as much as you can. Any questions so far?
I just have a quick question. So you have the three kind of categories there: quiz, test, and assignment. What if someone wanted to weight things differently. So what if they had presentations, for example, and they wanted to weight that differently from the other categories? Is there a way to do that?
Yeah, so your administrator needs to add the category. So under grading setup, you can add a category here for participation.
Gotcha.
Right? And then within your gradebook, you can add as many columns as you want. So you add the columns on a regular basis. Right? And in your final grade calculation, just add your weight factors here. So I could do participation, oops, test 10%, let's say tests are 5%, and participation is 5%. And that's pretty much how you set it up.
Awesome.
I had a question.
Yep.
So we are actually a small preschool, and we do have some grading, but we're wondering if we could get rid of the grades, like the first grade, second grade. Is that something we could do?
First grade, second grade, you mean the grade levels here?
Yeah.
Right. So you can actually customize the gradings, the grade levels. If you go to students, click on configure. You can change, you can edit, remove, and add new grades here as necessary. So you could add preschool right here.
Okay.
Pre-K actually, pre-kindergarten. Let's do sort order 4 class, and there's my pre-kindergarten class.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So this brings us to our next section. So here we have our 6 test students that was created with the test drive. Hopefully we'll have all this imported for you if you have your data in an Excel file. If I click on the student record, it brings up their profile information, so their contact information. Then depending on the modules you have turned on, we have all these tabs below. So you can add any number of parents, guardians, contacts for the student. We've got a spot here for medical information. You'll see report cards here under reports. Under documents, you can upload any number of files related to the student. So these can be certificates, PDF files, scanned images, and we'll store it safe for you on the cloud. Here on the gradebook, we can see all the gradebook entries for the student, including the public comments. So this is essentially what the parents will see from their portal, and you can also produce a printout of all the gradebook entries. So some schools use this for their parent-teacher conference, but we do have a separate module for doing report cards and progress reports. The last thing on this screen is the custom fields tab. So if you want to store any additional information about the student, demographics, for example, you can add a new custom field. And the nice thing about this section is we have different field types. You can sort the fields. You can control who has access to specific fields, and it's quite handy. So for example, if I can create a section here called immunizations. I can create a date field for measles, and maybe I'll create a text field for comments. So when I create these new fields, they are standardized for all students in that module. So if I open up another student, you will see these fields. And then for each individual student, I can specify what the actual values are. The other thing to mention is this ability to create custom fields is available in quite a few other places. So for example, you could create custom fields for your disciplinary incidences, for your lesson plans, for your inquiries, and for your admissions applications, just to name a few. So you're never stuck with just the fields that you have. There's usually an ability for you to create your own fields. Any questions here? No? Okay. So let's take a look at the report cards. So this is by far one of our more robust modules because the way we improve our software is based on feedback, and we've actually had a lot of feedback for the report cards over the years. So you can have as many marking periods per term as you want, and you can name them as appropriate. This is just the default one that we've created. Some schools will do weekly progress reports. You can just do one per term, or you can have a midterm and end of term report card. It's completely up to you. If I click on a student record in a marking period, it brings up the report card, a report card, I should say, and it's visual. So you'll notice it automatically picks up all the subjects the student is taking, and if you're using the final grade calculation from the gradebook, it automatically picks that up, so you don't have to re-enter this information. If you're not using the gradebook, I can click into these areas and type in my assessments as well. So here I put 78 in the B. So it makes it very easy for you to spot mistakes and to fix them up just by clicking in and making adjustments. We can also support long narratives. Nice job this term. Keep up the good work. So you'll notice that text automatically wraps, making full use of the available white space, and you can even do paragraphs. So really, it's quite extendable that way. So this is just one of many sample report cards that we have. So if you don't like how this particular report card looks like, we can go to Setup Report Cards. We can click on Change Template, and we can select one of many different styles. So how do you guys do your report cards? Is it by quarter, by trimester, or by semester?
We go by quarter.
Okay, great. So let's select Quarterly Classic. So once you select a template, there are further things you can refine on the right-hand side. So you could hide sections that were not relevant to you, enable sections like maybe if you do weighted GPAs. You can rename the fields. You can even change the colors. So for example, let's say in this case we have semester grades. Let's hide the semester grade and show a final year grade instead. Let's show subject comments, and then let's actually hide the signatures. Save that. So I've made some changes to my report cards. If I go back to Alvin's report card, you'll notice that it's picking up the new template, but it remembers all the grades that have been entered for that marking period. So your data is always safe. So you can make changes to your template, change your configuration at any time. It doesn't affect the data you've entered so far. And when it comes time to publish report cards, it'll produce a PDF of your report cards that your parents can access from the parent portal. What do you guys think?
Well, I had a question. We do progress reports also that are really just sort of narrative evaluations. Could we do that? Is that possible?
All right, sure. So we have, as you can seen here, a whole bunch of different templates to choose from. What we usually recommend is that you send us a copy of your existing report cards, and we can help you configure it, because even this list of templates here is just a small list. We have way more templates that we have than we care to show, just because we don't want to confuse schools with too much information. So and you'll see some of these more elaborate report cards on our blog. And so if you send us a copy of your report cards, we'll be able to let you know what's the best template to use, and we can even help you configure it. That's pretty much it, yeah. So this screen here under report cards is great for an administrator, principal, or homeroom teacher, because when you click on the student record, you get that whole report card with all the subjects. If you're only teaching one or two specialty subjects, like if you're just teaching Spanish or you're just teaching music, it doesn't make sense to be clicking through every single student report card. So we have a separate screen here called subject-based, where you can select a subject that you're teaching, and it brings up the grading criteria for that marking period. So in this case, it's showing marks, letter grades, and comments. But even this screen can be customized. If you wanted to add columns for conduct, behavior, or if you had skills and standards, you can definitely add those as columns here. And whatever the teachers save on this screen will get reflected back into the main report cards. So you got your two ways of putting in your assessments. All right. So those are our report cards. Any final comments or thoughts before I go to the next part? Nope? Okay. All right, so let's go to settings, turn features on and off. So this is where, as an administrator, you can control which modules you want to use and who has access to those modules. So if you remember in the beginning, there were very few menus across the top, but because we were test driving the gradebook and report cards, those menus have kind of magically appeared. If you wanted to add attendance, all you need to do is scroll down here to where it says attendance, click on this checkbox, and now attendance will appear on your menu. Next to each of these checkboxes, there's a configure link, and this allows you to further refine access to that module to specific users. So for example, for attendance, we have this thing called Global Attendance Taker, which will allow specific users, maybe an office manager or secretary, the ability to access everybody's attendance roster. Because by default, teachers can only access their own attendance rosters. You guys take attendance daily or for every period?
We do it once a day.
Once a day, excellent. If you do need to take it multiple times per day, there is that ability down here. So let's go ahead and save this. So the way we take attendance, we just click on the attendance module. As long as your students are linked to a homeroom teacher, all the homeroom teacher needs to do is click take attendance. It brings up their roster. Everyone's present by default, and you just mark the exception. So maybe if Alvin was absent, you can select that. Maybe Amber was tardy. You can add remarks. Say Alvin was not well and left early. I can also go back to previous days and take attendance for previous days as well. And if you have multiple periods, there'll be period selectors. And if I click on this details link, it brings up a calendar view of all the attendance taken to date. And I can move my mouse over these cells to view any comments and who took attendance and so on. So this calendar view is also available to parents when they log in. Parents and students. All right, so let's take a look at the parent portal. So to do that, let me turn on a few more modules. I'll turn on parent portal right here. I'll turn on mass parent messaging, and let me also turn on both homework and class discussions. So before I show you the parent portal, let me first show you this screen. This is the home page for teachers. So it's only for teachers, and on it we have this thing called the Teachers Lounge. And what it is, it's like a Facebook wall where teachers can share information with other teachers in like an office setting. So for example, I could post here, are any of you going to the education conference next week? And I could post links. So links are automatically clickable. If you upload photos, you'll see thumbnails. You can also even share files. So it's a great way to keep teachers involved with the school. You know, can share announcements if someone had a birthday, an upcoming concert, and it's a great way for keeping teachers interested with what's going on at the school. So the reason I show you this is because this ability to post information is available in a few other places. So if I go to parent portal, I can post a message to all my parents. So for example, hope to see you at the barbecue fundraiser this weekend. Right? And we have the same ability for classrooms. So I can select a subject that I'm teaching, say English, and I can post a message to all my parents. So for example, we have a field trip next week. I need your signed permission slips by Monday. So in this case, as a teacher, I can include an email notification to parents if it's something that's urgent. Or if it's just something that happened in the classroom, I can leave it unchecked, and then parents can log in as frequently as they want and catch up with what's going on in the classroom and at the school. So let's see how all this ties in back into the parent portal. Obviously, the first thing we'll need is a parent record. So I'll go ahead and add a parent for Alvin. Let's call him Mr. Silva. Give him a fake email address, school@millionaire.com. Save that. And just for this demo's purposes, I'm going to make Alvin siblings with Amber. So what that does is, as a parent, I'll be able to access both students in the same login. So in QuickSchools, a student can have multiple parents, a parent can have multiple students. Each parent gets their own login. And we can even cater to situations if you have divorced parents who remarry. You may have one parent that has access to 2 kids and another parent that has access to 3 kids. So that's definitely something that we can configure. So let's go ahead and invite the students, invite the parents. Click on Start Inviting Parents. So hopefully we'll have all this. Again, we can import this for you if you have it on Excel. We'll click Invite. So basically, QuickSchools will handle all the usernames for you. You don't have to worry about parents forgetting their passwords. We'll take care of that. As long as they've been re-invited, as long as they've been invited, they can use the live chat and get support for access to QuickSchools. So let's see what the email looks like. newschool.millionaire.com. Millionaire is just a free email that we can use online. It has no password. So here's the email that gets sent out. You can change this text if you need to, but essentially the system will generate the username and password 7030, And here is our brand new parent portal. So you'll see both students in one login. Any recent activity is on the right-hand side. So in this case, new grades, attendance. If you post homework assignments, you'll see those. If you publish your report cards, you'll see those as well. And there's a quick link here just to see what those recent activity is. At any time, you can click on View Complete Record, and it brings up the same information you saw earlier, except everything's in read-only. The tabs down below can also be controlled for parents. So in this case, it's just showing gradebook, homework, attendance reports, and custom fields there. If you go to the bottom of this page, we've got the school message board, so you can see the barbecue fundraiser this weekend. And if you go to class discussions, you can see all the messages that have been posted to the various subjects that the kids are taking. So here we see the field trip for next week. And as a parent, I can even participate in the discussion. So I can add here, where are the kids going to next week, right? And because this is a group discussion, another parent can actually chime in if the teacher is late in responding. So, they could say, they're going to Disneyland. Why don't you know where your kids are going? So it is a bit of a double-edged sword, because everyone can speak to everybody in this classroom. But it's a great way of cultivating, a community feel and get everyone kind of involved, especially if you have projects that run over a long break or long weekend or over spring break. This messaging here is, it's group-based. You wouldn't talk about grades, for example. So for private messaging, we do have that functionality as well, but you do have to turn it on. So if I go back to my admin portal, go back to turn features on and off, I click on configure next to parent portal. I can actually allow parents to send messages to teachers as well as to other parents. I'm going to go ahead and save that so you can see what it looks like. So let's log back in. 7030. So now you'll notice there's a new module here called directory. We've got a teacher directory and a parent directory. So as a parent, I can actually send a message to the teacher. Can I come see you after school today to discuss Alvin's progress? So when you send out a private message, it does send an actual email to the recipient, and then you can respond to it in your email, or you can go to your mailbox, which is on the top right corner right here, and you can see all the discussion threads with all the people you've private messaged. All right, so you can respond here as well. Also in the directory, we notice the parent directory. So the nice thing about this module is, when you turn it on, we don't automatically share everybody's contact information. What parents have to do, they do have to opt in. And then they can decide which information they want to share with other parents, or they can opt out completely. So here, for example, I'm going to share my email address so parents can contact me via email. So the communication you've seen so far is portal-based. You've got all the messages coming in through the gradebook, the attendance. You can review the homework assignments. There are messages coming in through the class discussions. So you've got group messages as well as private messaging. If you wanted to send big announcements, these modules wouldn't achieve that purpose. So for that, we have a separate module called parent messaging. So you can send out messages in bulk via email, text, or voice. So all you need to do is select the recipients, whether it's to the parents of all students, or specific students, or specific grade levels, or even specific homerooms. Right? Just put in the subject, put in the body, attach a file if you need to, and then just send out the message. We have the same thing for text. Select who you want to send it out to. For text messaging, parents do have the ability to opt out. So this checkbox here will override those preferences if it's something you want to send to everyone. But we usually recommend just respecting what the parents have set for themselves. Last one here is voice messaging, and what's cool about this is you don't need a microphone to record your message. When you want to send out a message, just click on the Record a Message Now link. Give the message a name, say school closure today. Provide the system with a phone number, and then when you click Call Me Now, the system will call you. You can record your message over the phone, and then once the message is recorded, you can use that message over and over again to send out to parents as needed. All right, so it's a really neat, really neat to use in a pinch. If you had to send out notifications really quick. This is available to you. I should mention that text and voice messaging, there is an additional per message charge just because it goes through the phone companies, but emails are always free. All right, so that's a lot of information right there. Any questions? What do you guys think?
So I was wondering, I like it. I was wondering what the pricing is.
Oh, okay. We have published pricing. Well, let me get the pricing after this last bit. Let me just show you a couple more things. I want to talk about our philosophy for a little bit. So under settings, turn features on and off. We have our 3 plans. How it works is we're constantly improving on these core modules. You'll notice that this is a fairly short list, and we actually intentionally keep it that way. And the reason is we want to provide focus and provide a great product and a great service. But for things that are not on this list, or things that are maybe a little more obscure, we've built a new app store that allows schools and developers to build their own modules and integration components on top of the QuickSchools platform. So you'll notice sometimes we'll package our own modules as apps, just because we don't want to confuse people with too many features up front. So for example, if you use Common Core, we have a standards-based gradebook that's provided for free. We do integration with learning management systems like Schoology and Canvas. Those are also provided for free. But other modules like, say, sign-in, sign-out sheet, that's $4.99 a month. If you use the lunch count, that's $2. So you can definitely peruse through these modules to see what is relevant to you. So back to pricing. We have published pricing on our website. So again, we have the 3 modules. Everything you've seen here today is part of the Apollo plan. So it includes, all your grading elements, report cards, transcripts, gradebook, and so on. All your portals. And this will cover your basic use of the software, your technical support, and we do all the database backups, security. So we're basically your IT team. There's no setup fees, no cancellation fees. We want to earn your business from month to month. Anything in the App Store is additional. So it depends on the apps that you want to use, and it varies from app to app. And we do offer some additional services that are completely optional. So if you wanted to migrate your data from another system, that's something that we can provide. If you wanted online training via webinar, we provide sessions, 1-hour sessions for those at $100 per session. If you pay for the year, we can provide a discount as well. But we usually recommend that you guys see if we're a good fit for you first, and then we can definitely negotiate, what makes sense for you guys.
Okay.
All right. Just to recap, there's a lot that the software has to offer. We do simplify things a lot to make it easy for the majority of our schools. So if there's something that you want that you don't really see, definitely chat in with us. Sometimes it's just a hidden feature that we've intentionally made a little bit hidden, I guess. Sometimes we have things that are coming for release, or even if you don't have something right away, we can put it into our engineering queue to be prioritized for a future release. So we definitely encourage letting us know about that feedback. And spend some time learning about the software. If you have any other questions, chat in. I head up the support team, so if the chat agents aren't able to respond to your queries, they'll get escalated to me. And if you're not getting the response that you need, you can also escalate to me. So that's pretty much it. Any final questions or thoughts? If there's something else, I think that's pretty much it. So go ahead and play around with the software, and we look forward to see you guys online.